Hey guys, it's Maymay, and today we are making a wreath with this cross wreath form that my friend Gareth from G'sEmbellishmentEmporium.com sent me. He's also G's Creations on YouTube. He has his own channel where he does videos, but he sent me this and I'm in love with it. And as soon as I got it, I had this thought in my mind of what I wanted to do. So here's some of the stuff we're going to be using. I'm dropping things, but I want to show you. We're going to use some of this foam, and I bought this one that's kind of the rectangle shape to kind of save me a step of cutting. So I'll show you about that. I'm going to use some of this decorative moss. I just picked this up at my local Walmart. You can get the kind that just looks like this or the kind that just looks like this. I thought it might be cool to kind of mix it up, so I bought the mixed set. And I'm also going to use a lot of succulents. Now I want to tell you something. These guys are not cheap. They are expensive at Walmart. Like this little guy right here is like $4, $3.97, okay? I decided to bite the bullet and go ahead and do it with these guys because I'm going to keep this for a long, long time, and I really don't mind spending a little more money on something I plan to keep forever. So that was my plan with these. Now, the Dollar Tree does carry these, but I don't have them in my local Dollar Tree, but I did see that online at dollartree.com you can order these, so you might want to go that route. That way they're only $1 a piece. I bought several of those, and I want to show you how we're going to get started. You're going to need some craft wire. So I just have some silver craft wire. All of this was from Walmart. I went this morning and just got what I needed. I needed to restock my wire anyway, and I was like, okay, this is good. So that one piece that I just showed you, I cut it down. What I did was I cut this foam in half long ways, okay? The part that's cut is going to be kind of uneven. See how badly uneven that is? I'm not going to stress about that. I'm going to put the flat side down so I know that it lays nice and flat, and let the bumpy side be at the top because we're not going to see that when we're done anyway. So I cut this long piece. I cut another piece for the end, and then I cut two pieces for the sides for the cross section, okay? Now here's all I had left over from that one piece. This one little bit was left over. You can use this in other floral arrangements, so that's super cool to have. Makes a mess when you cut this. It's probably going to make a mess when we wire it on. Just know that. If you're not a messy crafter, this one may not be for you. And listen, I'm not a messy crafter. I don't like messy crafts, but I do want to get this done. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut some sections of wire. You can do this with one full strand of wire and just kind of wrap it around, but I don't like to fight it. I want to be able to just have a section of wire and work with that. So I'm just going to cut like, I don't know, 6 or 7 pieces real quick. I'm just using my Tim Holtz shears. You don't have to do that. If it freaks you out to use them for this, you can certainly just use some wire snips. This wire I'm using is not a very thick wire. Matter of fact, I'll tell you the gauge. It is 26 gauge, so it's really a thin wire. So, got some pieces. Now, what I'm going to do is just take one piece. I'm going to lay it underneath this cross. I'm going to bring it up, and I'm going to wire this styrofoam onto the cross form. Just like this. Don't worry about the wires. They're not going to show when we finish. We're going to cover it all up with all that pretty moss. So now I'm just going to go underneath it again, whoops, to the center of our cross section. Wrap it and twist it. Super easy, right? Nothing fancy here. Let's do this bottom section. When you pull it a little snug, the wire kind of bites into the styrofoam, and that's going to help it stay in place, so that's a good thing. So now let's bring one piece down here to the bottom and a little wire for it as well. Get it lined up before I let it bite into it. And just twist. So now I've got styrofoam all the way around. You might want to do a little more securing of that one, but I think it's going to be fine. And then let's put these guys on. So see how it starts to flake a little bit? You're probably going to have a lot of that. Plus, don't forget, we're fixing to start working with that moss. It's just going to get messier. So you can see here how I have the cross all covered in the foam or the styrofoam. And you can see where the wires wrap around the back. I went ahead and put 2 wires on both of these pieces and this end piece just for safety. Now I'm going to use some of these floral pins. You can get these in the floral section. They're just these little pins, and they look kind of like not a T-pin, but like a U-pin. Can you see you kind of grab stuff and stick it in there? So we're going to use some of these guys. I've also pulled out some of the moss. You can see it here, a lot of the green moss. Now, you may have an aversion to this. It is moss, and you may not enjoy messing with this stuff, and I totally understand that. So you can use other products, anything you think you would like to put on here to cover it up. even if you just wanted to cover it with ribbon or anything, just so you can poke through it whenever you want to put your succulents on. Now I'm going to take this, and I want it to be pretty loose because I want to be able to poke those succulents through. So I'm going to spread this out a little bit, and I'm going to stick it there and then take these little U-shaped pins and poke it down in to hold it in place. I'm not as concerned about covering the top as much as I'm going to be on the sides. So that's why I'm kind of spreading this out. And I have plenty of U-pins. So I'm just going to go ahead and get the top done, and then I'll come around the sides as well. Now you can see I've got the top fairly covered. Don't worry too much about it because you're going to put succulents there too. Let's go ahead and do the sides so we can be sure we get them good and covered. These you are going to want coverage on. So I'm going to start here and just kind of pull and tug that where I want it to be. And you can take the pins and kind of move it into place so you know you get it where you want it. Those pins kind of hide themselves in there, and you can always pull the moss up around them and kind of hide it even more if you need to. Now at this point we kind of look like a science experiment. Don't stress, it's going to look better in a few minutes. And I've used all of the green moss that I have, so now I'm going to go back with some of those other colored mosses and just fill in and add it kind of snugly in between. So I've got like a white color moss, and I have a kind of a burgundy color, and I think it'll be all pretty. So I'm just going to go through and just fill in these gaps with the other mosses. So now that I have the cross fairly covered, I want to show you what I'm doing with the succulents. I'm pulling off the price tag, and see how they have this longer stem that's way too long to go straight into our tree? I'm coming to the middle here, and I'm cutting through that plastic that is on the stem, and you'll see you can twist it and then pull it away, and you just have that one wire sticking out. Now that I have that half off, I'm just going to take this piece and fold it down. If you want to snip it away, you can, but I'm not going to stress about it. I'm just making that smaller to stick down inside of the styrofoam. So I've done that with several of the pieces. I also plugged up my hot glue gun because I think I'm going to make a hole and also hot glue it in at the same time, or to keep it in nice and secure. So I'm going to press a piece in just like that onto our cross. It just drops right in. Then I'm going to lift it up and put some glue underneath it. So I can put glue on the flower. I'm going to put some glue on the stem as well, so as it goes in, it'll just kind of melt into the styrofoam. So right back into that hole we already made, and that'll just help secure it into place. And I have this really big one I want to go into the middle, so I'm going to poke a hole first. That one's going in really nicely though. It's nice and snug. I'm not even going to worry about pulling that one back out. So just do that by feel. If they go in really nice and you think they're going to stay, don't stress about pulling them back out. And I'm just going to put these in all the way down. These are really going in snugly. So I'm just pressing. You saw how hard that one was to get in. It's not going to come out. And I'm just going to press these in all the way up and down the cross. So I want to show you here in the middle. I have this one piece that kind of branches out. See how it kind of branches? It's not a straight up and down shape like the rest of them. I'm using it in that direction there, and I'm going to come back in this direction here. Again, doing the same thing with that wire. I'm cutting off that excess thick plasticky part that I don't need, twisting it till it's loose, and then I can slide it off and expose the wire. This time I'm not even trimming that wire. I want to show you what I'm doing. I'm going in at an angle, and I'm sending that styrofoam all the way across, so I know I get a nice tight succulent. It's stuck in there nice and tight. And I'm just going to keep going. I got to feel the edges and the bottom. So there it is, the succulent cross, and I cannot tell for sure how it looks on camera because I'm kind of far away, but I think it is beautiful in person. The moss and the succulents, and it is so meaty. If you were giving this away to someone, it weighs. It's not heavy, like it's not gonna be able to be hung, but it is nice and meaty and sturdy. Now to hang it, this would be my suggestion. See the little rings across the back, or where the cross, I can lay this down, where the cross comes across? I'm gonna hang this on a nail right across there. I think that'll be the perfect spot for it. But you may wanna put a piece of wire or something here if you wanna hang it in a different way. But I think it turned out beautiful, and I love it. And I want to show you, I put a succulent on the tips of each end of the cross as well, top and bottom. You can see that there. And I just love how it turned out. I hope you guys try this. If you don't have one of these wire forms, you certainly could make one out of some coat hangers or some sturdy wire if you wanted it by Easter. But if you just would like to have one of these to have in your home, be sure to check out Gara's store and pick up one of these wire crosses. They are beautiful and you can do so much with them. And I have one more of them, so be watching for another project to come with that one as soon as I can find the supplies I have in mind to do with it. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you create a succulent cross or something similar, please share it with us over on our Facebook group, which is called Maymay Made It, and so did I. And don't forget to get our free app. We now have an app on iPhone and Apple. You can check out that app just by searching Maymay in the search bar of either your iPhone store or your Google Play store. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.